What's up, everybody? Anthony here, Empire Music, empiremusic.com. Phone number at the shop, 412-343-5299. All the videos are launching right now. This is hopefully one of the first ones you've seen on this particular model. Fender American Ultra 2 Jazz Bass V. What does that V stand for? If you can kind of count here with me. Oh, I left the tuner on. What a faux pas in the rule book of my Empire Music videos. I never want that tuner on the headstock. And if you play a gig with the tuner on the headstock, take that thing off, man. Come on, we don't need to see that. We would just hope you're tuned up. But I digress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the V stands for 5-string. Very cool basses. We've done videos now on the entire lineup of the American Ultra 2 series. A lot of numbers were flying by here. And this kind of fits right in line with it. So if you're familiar with the Ultra series, this is the kind of next evolution of that. So that goes back like American Elite. I don't think there was an Elite 2, but then the Ultras, now the Ultra 2s. And really what that is the modern take on the Fender thing. So whether it be a P bass or a J bass, 5-string, this year they've actually introduced a new body shape in the Meteora. Which is kind of like an offset thing. Videos forthcoming on that very shortly. At the time of filming this, we didn't have it in stock. Really like a modern take on it. So we have active electronics, we have a modern neck profile, we have compound radius. So a lot of tonal versatility on it. And again, really the pinnacle of the modernist take on the vintage kind of Fender thing. Now with the Ultra 2s, there's been a few additions as far as tonal options on it, which I think are very cool. There's also been one really big addition that you wouldn't see otherwise that I really like, and we'll kind of jump into that. So starting down at the bottom here, select alter body. If you've played the Elites or the Ultras, you know that like the contours, meaning like this belly cut in, or yeah, I guess that'd be the, call it the belly cut, whatever it is. This cutaway here is a little bit deeper than you typically see on the standard stuff, especially versus the vintage stuff. You not only have the contoured neck heel, but it also kind of slopes inward here. Just saves a little bit of weight down there. It's just comfortable to play. Very sleek feeling, very sleek looking. High mass bridge, string through the body, or top load, which is really cool to have that option now. Don't believe that was on the earlier iterations of it. 18 volt preamp in the back here, so you put two 9-volt batteries in there, and then that powers some controls up front here. So really just knob wise here, volume knob, panning. So that means pick up neck, pick up bridge. Now, when engaging the active electronics, you have this top knob here, which would be your mid-range control. And then you can select which mid-range frequency you're boosting or cutting with the switch right here. That's 325 and 750 hertz. I had to remind myself. In my head, I second guessed myself. And then treble and bass. Now this bottom knob here on these stack pots, that is your passive tone control, right? So the new additions that we're seeing here is an S1 switch on the volume knob. So this is now what switches between active and passive mode. Very cool, very intuitive, very easy, very quick to get to. This switch used to be active passive. Now it is that selectable mid-range frequency. And these knobs are now switched. So in the older version, or last Ultra, the Elites prior to that, you had your treble and passive tone at the end here, which is now treble and bass were in this. So that's just kind of flipped. So if you're going from an Elite or an Ultra right into this, it will take a little bit to get used to. I don't own one of those basses, but I've played enough of them through the years here and doing our demos here at Empire Music that I did have to make that quick kind of adjustment. Once it's made though, it's made, and like I don't even really think about it anymore. Black anodized pick guard on this. This is the Sinister Red finish on it. If I owned it, I would just call it red. Not my favorite name, but I think it looks really, really cool. It's got a great metallic kind of flake to it. I believe in the 5-string, it is the Ultra Burst, the white, which is I think called Avalanche now, and the Sinister Red. We'll call it red, right? That kind of has that coppery. It is kind of dark, and I guess it is kind of sinister. It fits, and it is very nice looking. Could have named it something else, I guess, Fender, right? Maple neck, lumen lay inlays in there, which will flash up on the screen for you. So these glow in the dark after they've been kind of charged up by natural light or UV light or stage lighting. So if you're in a dark environment, that's nice. If you're like me and you got to look down while you play, I'm not one of those players that can just look up into the sky and I'm feeling the vibe while I'm playing. No, I'm probably concentrating too hard on what I'm doing down here sometimes, but I gotta look, right? I need that visual reference in it. 10 to 14 compound radius neck, or compound radius fretboard on it, so it flattens out as we go up. Modern D profile on the back. Tusk nut, which is cool. I like that addition on there. And you have a string tree here for the B string. So it is a 34 scale, and those aren't always my favorite sounding B strings, but that string tree really helps it. And I'll show you a couple ways we can sculpt that tone to kind of fatten up that B string. Obviously, it's just by boosting some bass, but you can do some tricks with the mid-range too that can kind of help that B string along. 35 scale B string has a tendency to sound a little bit tighter, a little bit more, lack of a better term, like grand piano-like. I know that's a weird analogy to it, but I tend to like the sound of a 35 scale B string more than a 34 scale B string. This is very above par, I think, for a 34 scale B string. And I do like the playability of a 34 scale over a 35 scale. So there's a trade-off there. There's no right or wrong. You can go both ways on it. Tonally, it's very similar to what we got out of the 4-string one. Ultra noiseless pickups in that too. So you have noiseless operation when you're in single coil mode. Very nice. Kind of going along with the building blocks of its predecessor lines as far as the Elite and the Ultra. Really well voiced in the noiseless stuff. Those aren't always my favorite pickups, as I tend to go more for the vintage aesthetic. But since the last Ultras, I think they really hit the nail on the head with keeping that kind of what you expect out of a Fender. Again, that vintage tone, but with a modern touch to it. You can certainly do a whole lot by sculpting it with the active electronics. So what I want to call out too, I want to set everything back to flat. I did this in the other videos, and I think it's really an impressive thing, and it's something that I think a lot of people would think, well, why wouldn't it always just be like that? I don't know, but because it's not, okay? Oh, And the one thing that I forgot to mention, I can't believe that slipped my mind. My favorite feature of this bass, right? You'd never see it. If I didn't tell you it or you didn't read it, you might not even know it's there. Posiflex graphite reinforcement rods in the neck. Love the fact that they put that on the Ultras. I've said it in every one of these Ultra 2 videos. It always escaped me why they didn't put that on the earlier iterations of it, because they did it on the American Pro 2 series, which is a cheaper line, even though qualitatively the same thing. For the feature set allows it to be at a lower price point. I just don't know why they didn't add that really nice, modern, and very stable and stabilizing feature to the bass. I'm so glad that they put that on here, because I've, in quite a few occasions when I'm selling instruments here in the shop and I'm walking someone through that and they say, oh, well, this American Pro 2 got graphite rods. And they're like, well, why doesn't the Ultra have that? And I'm like, yeah, that's a really good question. Why didn't they put that in the Ultra? So great job, Fender. Great job all around on this bass. I think the Ultra 2 series is absolutely bang on. It's very, very cool. But adding the graphite rods in there, big plus in my book, right? So between active and passive, what I was saying that might not seem like a big deal, but I think it really is if we go, so here's the passive with full tone, right? Into active. Sounds exactly the same. I love that. Really tells you that preamp on the active side of things, it's 18 volt and there's zero gain jump there. So if you have it in active mode, you're really not cutting or boosting things too much, and we can do that and it still doesn't jump all that much. Battery goes out, you flip over to passive, you don't have to go back to your amp and adjust it. There's no surprises there from a gain perspective. I really, really like that. And even if I'll boost everything just slightly. So here we're in active. Right? Into passive. Still not a big gain jump until we're really cranking on those knobs, boosting and cutting frequencies. Really, really like that. For the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to focus more on the active side of things, because I do think, just like the past iterations of it, just like the Player Plus series, I think these basses are meant to be played in active mode. You're buying a bass to have that option to it. Passive mode is a nice fail-safe for it. So we're gonna make note that S1 switches now where you go active to passive, but we're gonna really focus on the active tones. So again, we're gonna keep everything dead center here, tone-wise. And right now I'm on the 325 Hertz boost. I tend to like that. The lower mids, to me, I like having that either accentuated or cut. The 750 doesn't do a lot for me personally, but it's a great option to have on there, and we'll run through kind of how that changes the tone. It's pretty drastic when we start to accent the mid-range stuff. So wide open, active mode, everything set, detent, middle position. Bridge pickup. And then neck position. Let's check out the B string in those positions too. Being a 5 string, I'm kind of not highlighting that, probably should be. So we'll just go like a D minor thing on the low B. Middle position, active. And then bridge position. And then neck position. And then back to middle. That's pretty monstrous sounding, actually, right in middle position. I'm not boosting or cutting anything here on the the EQ. It's pretty big sounding. That sounds really good. That string tree's helping kind of add just that little bit of tension, takes care of any sympathetic vibrations that might happen there past the nut. Sounds very, very good. Now, let's start boosting a few things. So we're going to boost some bass, kind of a easy way to do it. Boost some bass, kind of cut some treble. I like cutting treble pretty substantially on active electronic. And we're going to boost mids just a touch. I think that's a cool sound. And I'm going to keep it on the 350 hertz boost here. So I'm going to boost it. Yeah, check out how that B string now even has some more kind of meat to it there. That sounds great. Not very good. That sounds great. It's a little bit flappier there on the open B. There's still a ton of content there. Like, that's still very big for a 34 scale. That D on the low B is crushing. And I have a tendency to play back on that because I'm trying to pull out a little bit of tightness from it. Up here, still very good. I really do like back here. That just tightens that up a bit. Now we'll go neck position. A little loose there. Bridge. That sounds awesome. I'm really, really digging that tone. I'm gonna boost mid-range even more and just like lean into that. That's cool. That sounds awesome. Now we're going to boost the 750 hertz. So we're going to hear, hopefully, the upper mid-range characteristic kind of pop out on that. So we're soloing the bridge pickup. I'm gonna boost mids even more. Just, that might be a little bit past my comfort zone with it, but I really wanna let you hear where that frequency kind of shifts by using that, that mid-range selector. Oh yeah, instant. Super burpy at that point. Now we go back to the 350. It gets so much more aggressive in that upper mid-range with that. Now we're boosting mid-range pretty more than I would normally would. So even with the slight boost on that, and let's go wide open, right? Because one of my favorite jazz bass sound, although I'm in love with the way that bridge pickup sounds. That's so crushing. Even without the B, we'll incorporate it a little bit, but. That's the 750 hertz, here's 325. Back to 750. That switch is key on this 5-string because it is bringing life, different types of life into that low B, right? Honestly, that's like the perfect addition into this particular model. I liked it on the 4. I love what that does to sculpting the tone of that B string on that. That's pretty impressive. That's cool. So let's boost. Let's go kind of let's boost let's actually boost treble a little bit. Take mid-range back to center. Take bass back to center. That's cool, modern, very bright, punching through. Let's go straight neck pickup, boost bass back up a little bit, boost treble, leave mid, centered, take it down to 350. I think this is cool. That sounds really, really cool too for like a nasty kind of raspy sort of P bass tone. Check what that's like on the bridge position. Yeah, I like adding that mid-range back in on that. Boost the bass. I'm gonna roll some treble back off on that. I love that tone. Especially on that B string, it's so good. Very cool. Now back to square one. So everything flat. What's flat there? Okay, cool. And then middle position, kind of your standardized J bass tone. Good too. Super cool, impressed, fun to play. I mean, really, I didn't expect, I've been playing 4-string for so long. When I get on these extended range basses, it takes me a minute to kind of get reacquainted to it. Obviously, there's some hiccups there in the playing. We'll blame the bass, right? But it's awesome sounding bass. Super impressed with this. Fender American Ultra 2 5-string. You'll see the letter V at the end of that 5-string. That's Roman numeral 5. This one's in Sinister Red. In stock now at Empire Music. You can call the shop, 412-343-5299. You can email me directly. It's anthony@empiremusic.com. Pro setup on everything we sell. Free shipping on almost every item. Financing available. We take trades. So if you got something that you're interested in moving, shoot us a call, shoot us an email, include some pics. Anything you need, reach out. Thanks for watching.